Regardless of which Special Operations Forces career a trainee aspires to, whether it's Navy SEALs, Army Rangers, Air Force Pararescue, or Army Green Berets, they will have to complete the military entrance requirements, which includes push-ups, sit-ups, and then in selection they'll also have a pull-up or a chin-up test. Minimum scores vary by branch, but here are the minimum scores to earn an Army 18X contract to become a Green Beret. The minimum scores are 57 push-ups, 66 sit-ups, and 6 pull-ups. And here are the scores that we recommend candidates hit prior to joining: 80 push-ups, 80 sit-ups, and 15 to 20 pull-ups. Now, before we actually dive into how to improve your calisthenics, let me share the problem with training calisthenics alone. All too often, candidates look at the entrance requirements to become a Navy SEAL or Green Beret and immediately jump into a high-volume, high-rep calisthenics program. Initially, doing hundreds of push-ups, sit-ups, and pull-ups will lead to improved efficiency, better movement patterns, and more reps during max effort sets, but after several weeks of improvement, you will hit a wall. The problem is that the improvements and adaptations you'll gain from those high-volume calisthenics routines are almost entirely neuromuscular. To see sustained improvement in calisthenics numbers requires a base of muscle mass and strength. This doesn't mean you need to look like a bodybuilder or lift as much weight as a powerlifter, but it does mean that hitting 80 push-ups will feel a lot easier for someone who can bench press 225 pounds than for someone who can only bench press 135 pounds. Basically, if you increase your max strength by 20 or 30% on your weighted push-up or pull-up, the relative effort required on a bodyweight movement will also go down. Now, the problem with programs which only include calisthenics and neglect weighted variations is the opportunity cost. Every hour that a candidate spends on calisthenics is an hour he could have spent building strength in squats, deadlifts, presses, and weighted pull-ups. A candidate who trains in weightlifting and calisthenics for 6 months will be stronger, more resilient, and have better calisthenics scores than a candidate who only trains in calisthenics for 6 months. Now, the next question is a controversial one. After exceeding the minimum calisthenics scores, do calisthenics even matter? Well, as we outlined in a previous article and video on Sfas, rucking is the greatest predictor of success at selection. And for this reason, it's important for candidates to train for what it takes to get to selection, meaning the PST, the APFT, or IFT, that's a requirement to actually enlist, and then you should consider what it will take to make a difference at selection, meaning rucking, overall strength, grip strength, running. Candidates farther out from selection should focus on general skills such as strength and strength endurance through concurrent weightlifting and calisthenics, which will carry over to running, rucking, and grip strength, rather than hyper-focusing on body weight calisthenics, which will have little carryover into other movement patterns and exercises. The absolute best way to improve push-ups, pull-ups, and sit-ups for selection is to build strength in heavy compound movements alongside with a few circuit workouts each week. Here's some of our favorite exercise to program for clients to improve their push-ups, sit-ups, and pull-ups. For push-ups, we love horizontal or any kind of bench press variation, along with vertical or overhead press variations, and for more specific training, weighted push-up variations are great as well. And for improving pull-ups, make sure that you're doing horizontal pulling with different types of rows and grips, and spend some time with vertical pulls like pull-ups, lat pull-downs, with different variations than you would normally do. Lastly, we'll move on to different exercises to improve your sit-ups. Decline push-ups, hanging leg raises, planks, V-ups are all great options to strengthen your core. And if you're interested in a free weightlifting program for selection that pulls together a lot of the exercises that we've already discussed, go ahead and check out the link in the description. In addition to weightlifting, candidates should also perform 1 to 2 calisthenics circuits per week to maintain their calisthenics performance. Or if you're looking to improve your performance, bump up the number of calisthenics circuits to 2 to 4 circuits per week. The sample workout on screen includes 4 exercises: a vertical pull to train the back and grip, a forearm or weighted carry exercise to train the grip, third, a time-limited horizontal push to train the push-up, and fourth, an abdominal exercise to train the sit-up. To complete this circuit, candidates will start by completing a max effort set of pull-ups or chin-ups, which will fatigue the back and forearms. Next, the candidate will either complete a farmer carry or wrist roller exercise to further exhaust the forearms, And in the third exercise, candidates will complete as many perfect push-ups as possible in the given time duration. And that means chest to floor and full extension. Perfect reps here. Finally, candidates will complete a set of leg raises or decline sit-ups. And while each exercise is max effort, a starting rest interval of 2 minutes between exercises allows for ample recovery time, and 3 sets is short enough to complete the workout in 30 minutes. We recommend that candidates who are 6 months or more out from selection perform calisthenics circuits once per week after a strength training session or running session. Rest time between exercises, as mentioned, should start at 2 minutes, and 2 to 3 rounds can be completed. As candidates approach their selection date, they should perform the circuits as standalone workouts to ensure they're not fatigued immediately after their strength sessions, and additionally, candidates should slowly increase the number of sets, increase the time duration for their push-ups, and decrease the rest intervals. So what are some practical recommendations on how you can improve your calisthenics numbers? Number 1, get on a weightlifting program. It not only increases your odds of getting selected, but it will also improve your calisthenics. If you don't have a program yet, check out the one in the description. Number 2 is start doing the calisthenics circuits that we've discussed. A frequency of 1 to 2 circuits per week is a great place to start improving your push-up, sit-up, and pull-up scores. And over time, you can increase the frequency and increase the number of sets. The third practical recommendation is to resist the urge to over-specialize and peak too early with high-volume calisthenics. Now, what's the problem with high-volume calisthenics? Well, nothing is inherently wrong with it. As we mentioned, we do recommend candidates bump up their calisthenic volume and frequency to 3 to 4 times per week in addition to weightlifting in the 6 weeks leading up to selection. But that's just so that we peak our APFT, PST, or IFT scores so that we're maxing the fitness test. But outside of the 6 weeks leading up to selection or shipping, candidates should focus more on training all modalities of fitness to prepare for selection. Candidates who specialize in only unloaded bodyweight exercises are in for a rude awakening at selection when they're not strong enough to carry their weight. With all that said, hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.